Getting back into riding after a few years away feels like you've got your freedom back. But it's not as simple as just putting on the helmet and hitting the road. For returning riders, the most dangerous time is the first couple of months back on the bike. Because your attention is focused on regaining your muscle memory and the physical side of riding, you tend to pay less attention to the traffic and road conditions. So taking a bit of time to rediscover your sixth sense and reboot your riding skills is a good idea. It's best to take things a bit easier to begin with. Riding an unfamiliar bike increases your chances of having an accident, so get to know your bike on a few quiet local roads before heading for the twisters. And remember, it's not just you that's changed, the bikes have too. The latest generation of bikes are safer, more rideable and more reliable than ever. That's why most riders decide to buy a new bike rather than dust off the old one. I'm not saying you shouldn't go back to the old faithful, but think about what you want to get out of riding this time around before you make a decision. So what has changed? Let's start with power. Almost every bike you can buy today has more power than the ones we used in MotoGP 20 years ago. So you need to get used to the horsepower available at every twist of the wrist. And with all that power to control, brakes have changed too. With one finger, you can now brake harder than you used to be able to with your whole hand. So you'll have to relearn how to use the brakes and just how much or how little pressure you need to stay in control. Quite a lot of the bikes even have ABS these days. But don't think that means you can just grab the lever and let the system do the rest. Even with ABS, practicing your braking can still save you valuable meters in stopping distance. Bikes are also becoming heavier, which means they take more strength to control. If you're coming back to riding and you're tempted to buy a bigger, heavier, more powerful bike than you used to ride, it's not a bad idea to brush up on your skills on a smaller bike first, especially if it's been a while. What looks great in the showroom doesn't look so clever in a ditch on the side of the road. A few catch-up lessons will help get your body used to riding again and clue you into the way bikes have changed. One benefit of bigger bikes is that it makes life much more comfortable for pillion passengers. Chances are you didn't spend a lot of time with a pillion when you were younger, but for many returning riders, part of the fun is being able to share the ride with a partner. Key to being a good rider and pillion team is communication. Invest in an intercom system or develop a set of signals that keep you in sync on the bike. Naturally, carrying a passenger alters the weight distribution of the bike and affects the braking and handling. So maybe take a few shorter trips first to make sure you and your passenger get used to riding together before you tackle a long weekender. If you're returning to riding, take time to rediscover and reboot your sixth sense. Get used to your bike, get used to traffic conditions and never stop working on your riding skills, because you can teach an old dog new tricks.